Business. So the first at the outset the students should learn what is economic environment. In the previous lesson you might have heard that what is business environment. So this is the sum of the institutions, then the sum of the business enterprises, then sum of the forces. This is the sum of the total of institutions, industrial enterprises and forces that are beyond the control of a business. They will decide your business. That sources, external sources, are known as environmental factors. The environmental factors are divided into two categories as internal and external, you know well, and you might have heard in the previous lesson. The present lesson is the economic environmental factors. The forces determine the economy of a country. It is known as economic environment. The factors determining economy of a country. The economic forces determine the economy of a country. There, the determining factors of an economy known as economic environment of business. The economic development will determine the development of a business. Any business, the business wants to get a substantial improvement. Such businesses are required a conducive economic environment. So what are the forces determining economic environment? What is the gross domestic product of a country? What is the growth of gross domestic product of a country? You have to consider. Then recently, the government of India has estimated the 5 trillion economy. The 5 trillion economy, our economy should grow up to 5 trillion. That is trillions equal to the lakh crore. So our economy should grow 5 lakh crore. So it is estimated, it is a positive sign that designs that depicts the economic environment of government of India. So the economy of a country should grow. The growth of economy will invite a large number of business enterprises to India. So they decide what is the share of agriculture to GDP. What is the share of industry to GDP? What is the share of services sector to GDP? At the time of independence, even in 1950s, our agriculture share was higher than the industry and services. Today, the share of services sector is more than the industrial sector, agriculture sector to gross domestic product of government of India. It means that services sector is under drastic improvement. The worldwide, the services sector is getting momentum. Worldwide, we witness a growth in the services sector. That services sector growth determines the economy of a country, and development of the services sector invites the multinational to enter into business. And you might have seen the entry of multinational enterprises in services sector. The insurance sector, multinational enterprises prefer to enter. The banking sector, multinational enterprises prefer to enter into business. The financial sectors, all financial sectors, multinational enterprises are interested. It shows the growth of services sector. The services sector growth is associated with the growth in technology. Worldwide you find the growth in technology. The technology growth associated with the growth of services sector will determine the economy of a country. Where the services sector plays a vital role, there the growth of economy is seen and economic environment is seen, and that provides a better scope for new business enterprises. Then similarly, what is the balance of payment of a country? Balance of payment is comfortable, that shows the economic growth of a country. What is the balance of payment? It explains the capital account and revenue account of a country. Then what is there? The export and import, what is the difference? And what is the remittances from foreign country? And we are so comfortable in terms of balance of payment that our brothers and sisters working in foreign countries, they send enormous money to India. That is the remittances. That remittances solve the problem of balance of payment. There is a wide gap, export and import. Our import is more than the export. But the difference, the import-export difference, the import-export difference is called a trade deficit. The deficit is solved by our brothers and sisters working in foreign country. They send money to India. So remittances is increasing. Worldwide, India stands number one in private remittances. That shows the economic growth of a country. That shows the conducive economic environment of a country. So balance of payment problem is not there to government of India. So it shows a substantial positive sign for the economic growth. The earlier, we know well, at the time of liberalization, privatization and globalization, we had the problem of balance of payment. We faced difficulties in meeting the import commitments. Today we did not bother about meeting the import commitments. What is imported, we are ready to pay. But in 1990s, 1991, we introduced the liberalization, privatization and globalization. At that time, we felt the problem of meeting import commitment. What is the import commitment? Meeting the import commitment means we import goods and services, we import the products, we import material, we import machinery, but we were not in a position to pay. But now we are comfortable. So this is the sign of economic development. Then reserve is there. The reserve is improving. What is there? Foreign exchange reserve, foreign currency reserve. The Reserve Bank of India is maintaining. So we had such a type of problem. Now it is 300 plus billion. So it solves the problem of foreign exchange reserve. So that shows the substantial economic development. Then what is there? GDP to service, GDP to production sector, GDP to agriculture sector. Similarly, GDP to total borrowings. So all the countries, they borrow from outside. Whether the borrowing is comfortable to government of India or not, all the countries they borrow. So they borrow from World Financial Institution. So borrowing, we have to meet the import commitment, we have to repay the principal commitment. This commitment we have to meet through our financial resources. We are meeting. We are not in a danger position in meeting our commitments regarding the foreign debt. So it shows the economic improvement. So India is becoming a fastest developing economy in the days to come. The economic environment shows. There the development of economy, suppose it reaches the $5 trillion, 5 trillion, what is there? I have already explained what is 1 trillion. So we move up to that level, that automatically we will reach the standards of world dominant economies. India becomes the emerging market. So all types of markets are here. The emerging, growing market is there. That will give a substantial flip to Indian economy. The foreign direct investors are ready. So what is there in the world market? India should be an investment heaven that only all the countries will prefer to enter. It must be an investment heaven. How can we convert our motherland as investment heaven? What is the investment heaven? That prevailing environmental factors must be so conducive to foreign enterprises. Then only it must be investment heaven. So what is the taxation rate here? What is the inflation rate here? What is the exchange rate here? What is the stock market trend here? This will decide the investment heaven. Multinationals are ready to enter. What is the reason for foreign investment? But you know well, in Southeast Asian countries, India is comfortable in terms of private savings because we have the culture. Western culture in terms of saving is different, Indian culture in terms of saving is different. We are compelled, that is the culture. we are compelled to save some money for our wants. We are compelled to save money for our children. There, for education, for marriages, for settlement, we have to save some money. At least we have to borrow some money for our children. But this type of culture prevails in Indian soil, so that the private savings is excellent compared to other countries in Asia. But such type of private savings do not come to market. Suppose we buy 100 grams of gold or 200 grams of gold for our children, daughter or son, that will be kept in the locker, that will be kept in the houses, but that won't come as investment in the market. But Western world it is different. Though we have substantial private savings, but we need some foreign investment. The reason is the incremental capital output ratio in the foreign market. 1 rupee of investment, what is the output? 1 rupee investment, what is the output? In Western world, that is 100 rupee, there the output 4.31 in developing countries. Highly developed countries, it is less than that, 3 to 4, 3 to 3.3. So output is different. Minimum investment, maximum output. There, the foreign direct requirement, what is the level? Their input is there, but minimum output is deriving. Their foreign direct investment we require extra. Suppose we want to grow 10% growth in GDP, suppose 4% growth per rupee of investment, so we need 40% of savings. 40% of savings to GDP we require for 10% growth, but we don't have such a type of investment. We don't have such a type of savings. So what is required? To bridge the gap between 30 to 40, the 10% of GDP, we depend on foreign investment. We depend on foreign investment. So foreign investment is not measured in terms of money alone. Foreign investment is measured not only in terms of money, but also in terms of management, but also in terms of technology, but also in terms of growth, but also in terms of advancement in all sectors of economy. So foreign direct investment, growth of foreign direct investment will design the economic environment of a business. Then another thing is there, inflation. The inflation rate is normal. The normal inflation rate will invite substantial growth of economy. What is the inflation? Too much of money chasing few goods, that is the inflation. Too much of money chasing few goods, that is the inflation. So the inflation is exorbitant, that is not conducive to do business. The inflation is normal, that is conducive to do business. So inflation is one of the factors of economy, what is the economic environmental factors? Inflation. Then similarly, exchange rate. So $1 is equal to, what is the Indian rupee? This is also one of the important factors. For example, the rupee is appreciated, the consequences are there. The rupee is depreciated, the consequences are there. The exporters will be happy. What is there? $1 is equal to 65. Now $1 is equal to 70. Exporters will be happy. The exporters will be happy, but the importers will not be happy. $1 is equal to 60. Now $1 is equal to 65. Importers are not happy. Exporters are happy. So we need a competitive exchange rate that will decide the factor. That will decide the economic environmental factor. So exchange rate, the difference between the Indian rupee, US dollar during a period of time. Then another, the market economy, foreign exchange market will decide what are the derivatives are used in the foreign exchange market. to safeguard the exchange rate differentiation. That will decide the economic environmental factor. So what is the growth in GDP?